Good afternoon. We're here this afternoon to provide you an update for the incident that happened this morning at the Melbourne Square Mall where we had an active shooter. Going to introduce some of the dignitaries that are here. Our city manager, Michael McNeese, is here. Our sheriff, Wayne Ivey. Our police chief, Steve Mims. Chief Wiley from West Melbourne Police Department. Our mall manager is also here. We're going to give them an opportunity to say a few words, and then we'll come back with an update on the incident that happened this morning. Chief Mims.
Thank you all for being here. First thing I'd like to do is express my deepest concern and condolences to the families that were tragically affected today. These are the kind of incidents that we plan for, we train for, but we hope we never have to deal with. Well, today we had to respond to and deal with one of those tragic incidents, and first thing I'd like to do is thank the various agencies that assisted the Melbourne Police Department this morning. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office, the Palm Bay Police Department, the West Melbourne Police Department, the Melbourne Village Police Department, the Mall Security, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, ATF, and the Red Cross. All of those entities responded with the utmost professionalism. The working together, the teamwork that occurred probably led to the outcome that we had, that it was a limited event to the extent that it was. And I'd like to personally thank all of the officers and the individuals that assisted with this. The investigation is going to continue throughout the afternoon and for the next several days, I'm sure. As the investigation unfolds, after the briefing we give you this afternoon and the more detail we give you, we'll follow that up with additional information as it becomes available and we can release it. So once again, I'd really like to express my condolences to the families and my thanks for the agencies that assisted with us this morning. We could not have done this without all that cooperation and assistance. Thank you.
This morning at about 9:31, we received a phone call of shots fired at the Melbourne Square Mall. Officers quickly responded. Officers from the Sheriff's Department, West Melbourne, Melbourne Village, Palm Bay Police Department all responded to the mall. We were still hearing shots when the first officers arrived on scene. The officers quickly assembled into active shooter teams and entered the mall to discover where the threat was happening from. As the officers entered the mall, they did encounter three victims. Right now, we are confirming that 2 of those victims have died. 1 is in good condition at an area hospital. The investigation is still active and ongoing. The officers that entered the mall at the time were able to clear the mall, went from store to store, assisting workers that were in the mall. We estimate that approximately 100 people were in the mall at the time, most of them getting ready to open up their businesses for the day. The officers went store to store, clearing those areas, looking for any further suspects, looking for any witnesses, anybody else that might have been injured, and any other threats that were in the mall. They were able to clear all of those stores and assist people in getting out of the mall, and did not find any additional threats in the mall. I'll be happy to take a few questions. As I said, the investigation is ongoing, and detectives are continuing to work to identify the motive and some of the other factors involved in the incident.
Relationship between the people shot?
The relationship between 2 of the people that were shot is that they were husband and wife. Initially, right now, we do believe that this may stem from a domestic violence incident.
Can you tell us if the shooter is one of the deceased?
We believe one of the deceased is our shooter, but the investigation continues to positively identify that.
Is the survivor male or female?
The survivor is the intended victim and is a female.
the wife then, just to be clear?
Yes, we believe that is the wife, correct.
What is the relation of the third person?
That is unconfirmed and still under investigation. We do not know at this time. We can't confirm that at this time.
At least an employee?
Cannot confirm what that relationship is at this time.
Can you tell us how the second victim was injured? We heard he may have tried to wrestle the weapon away from the gunman.
That is unconfirmed. We believe that the second person that died, who was possibly the shooter, he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Ma'am, you had a question?
No.
You talk about the FBI as well?
The FBI responded out for assistance if we needed it. They offered their assistance with interviews, anything that we needed, they were available to assist.
Any idea how many shots were fired and how many firearms did this individual have?
We know that multiple shots were fired, and we have recovered so far 3 firearms.
Was there any call to the police department that this individual who is deceased, I guess the shooter, was on the way to the mall with a weapon? Was there any warning or indication he may be coming here?
We received multiple 911 calls. Where detectives are still sifting through those calls and cannot confirm that right now.
Vince, can you talk about, there's a search going on at a home in Palm Bay. Can you tell us a little bit about that search and why the CSI and the detectives are there?
All of that is part of the ongoing investigation.
Will the mall be open tomorrow?
The intent is to have the mall back open tomorrow for regular business. Speaking of that, there's property that was people dropped and left throughout the mall. Mall security is going to make that property available. If someone left property and would like to claim that property, please give mall security a phone call, and they will assist in getting the person back into the mall to where their property is, as long as it's not within the crime scene. Mall security's number is area code 321-952-0583. 321-952-0583. And that's for anyone that dropped property, left property in the mall, and exited the mall rather quickly once they heard the shots being fired. If you have a car that's still here at the mall, you can also call mall security. If it's outside the tape, you're more than welcome to come and get your car. If it's still inside the evidence tape, please contact the Melbourne Police Department, 321-608-6731, and we'll assist you in getting your car back out of the mall parking lot. Sir?
What was the exact location of the shooting? How many people were in there at the time?
We estimate that approximately 100 people were inside the mall. As I said earlier, most of those people were getting ready to open their businesses. There are others that exercise in the mall, so we estimate about 100. The actual incident took place adjacent to the food court.
Would that have been near Stato Pizza? Can you confirm that?
It was in the food court.
Are you going to say where the victim worked or anything like that?
Under investigation.
Is the crime scene inside one of the establishments in the food court?
It's in the food court. Exactly where it extends to, I do not know.
In terms of evacuating the mall after the shooting, any issue in getting people out? Did you find people hiding anywhere, or did they just come out on their own, or how did that transpire?
Some people that heard the shots locked themselves in rear closets. For the most part, people were very cooperative, followed directions, were more than willing to leave the mall. We were able to assist those that did not have exits that went off, came out the back of the mall. We were able to assist some of them out of their stores. And during the store-to-store search, we did come upon many people that were kind of just, laying low inside their establishments.
Is that the right thing to do when there's a shooter in the mall? What can you tell the residents who just can't believe this happened right in their own mall?
Obviously, you want to get to safety as quickly as you possibly can. Follow the protocols, follow the instructions that are given. In this particular case, the instructions that are given by police and the instructions that are given by mall security. At businesses, you should know what your exit plans are, where your nearest exits are. All of those things you should try to get to know ahead of time so that you can easily exit a situation and or lock yourself inside of a room, inside of a closet, or someplace where there's some barrier between you and the active shooter.
Since there's a car in the parking lot that you've been searching, doors open, trunk open, hood open. Can you tell us the connection?
We believe that car is connected to one of the victims. It was a precautionary thing, and it was part of the investigation just to search it and see if there was any evidence inside of that. I do not have any information of anything that they may or may not have recovered.
Do you have an idea of when you might be able to release the identification of victims?
I can release the identification of 2 of the victims at this time. We do not have any picture available. The other person will try to get that released as soon as we possibly can. The individual we believe to be the shooter is Jose Garcia Rodriguez. Jose Garcia Rodriguez. He is a Palm Bay resident, white male, and believed to be 57 years of age. The other victim, who we believe to be Jose's wife, is Ida Garcia, white female, and she is 33 years of age, also a Palm Bay resident.
Is that Rodriguez with an S or a Z?
With a Z on the end.
But obviously, it sounds like Ida Garcia has survived that shooting.
As of right now, she is in good condition, listed in good condition.
Have there been any prior calls to their residents in Palm Bay that you know of?
That's still under investigation. I do not know at this time.
Any previous record for the shooter? Has he been in trouble with you guys?
Also still under investigation.
Could you speak on a personal level? I mean, it seems like, the customer knew what to do. We're becoming all too familiar with these kind of cases. Just your thoughts on that.
Unfortunately, the incidents do happen. I think the training of law enforcement, the cooperative agreements that we have between agencies, and the information that we constantly try to get out regarding these incidents, and the information that you guys provide to the public does help to reduce and or mitigate the loss of life in these situations. And that's our goal. Our goal is to try to keep our community as safe as possible. And we try amongst ourselves cooperatively, as you saw today with the response from the various agencies, to respond as quickly as we possibly can. It doesn't matter what color uniform or what patch you wear. If you're law enforcement, we band together and we're going to try to stop the threat before the threat becomes worse.
How many total officers do you think you had out here?
Unfortunately, I do not know. We had officers from multiple agencies.
Commander, was there also a search of the gunman's residence today?
Part of the ongoing investigation, I personally do not know.
You guys know who the gunman is, though, correct?
Yes, we believe the gunman is Jose Garcia Rodriguez.
You said there were 3 firearms. Do you know what kind of firearms they had?
They were handguns.
Handguns.
Do you know if he was going for his ex-wife or his wife and somebody else that she may have known, or planning on going through the whole mall to do something? Do you know?
The motive, obviously, we don't know. We believe it stemmed from a domestic situation. We believe the intended target was Ida, but specifically, that's part of the investigation.
And they are still husband and wife, correct?
To my knowledge, yes.
Did Ida and the other unnamed victim know each other, or do they work together?
The relationship is unknown.
Male, female?
Male.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Are the witnesses all saying the same things? Are there conflicting statements that you're sorting through, or is it pretty much everyone has the same?
There's always a process to filter the witness information that's provided, and that's part of the investigation. Investigators are actively doing that.
Are you able to say if any witnesses saw this unnamed guy try and pull the gun away from the gunman?
We had witnesses to the incident. What they actually saw is not being disclosed, and it's still part of the investigation.
And to be clear, was there one handgun? He had one handgun?
We recovered 3 handguns at the scene.
3 handguns.
If there's any more information to be released today, will it be by a press conference or email, or how are we handling it?
We will release any additional information that comes up through a news release, and either later on today or tomorrow.
And it sounds like the only shots fired at the mall were from the gunman himself. Police did not fire any shots, correct?
That's correct.
He had 3 handguns. Was he dressed in any unusual attire?
Unfortunately, I do not know how he was dressed.
Ammunition?
He had several pockets full of ammunition.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, if anybody has any information, maybe there were witnesses that we have not contacted, please feel free to contact the Melbourne Police Department, 321-608-6731, or obviously you can always call Crime Line, 1-800-423-TIPS. Thank you.